All right, so we are in chapter 3 of Humphrey's Really Willy Racing Day, and it is entitled Really Willy and Red. The next morning, Mrs. Bisbane entered room 26 with a big smile on her face and a huge box in her hand. She said, "Last night I went to Pet-O-Rama." Pet-O-Rama, that's where I used to live. I told the manager that we wanted to have a hamster car race to go along with our math unit on measurement. Mrs. Bisbane explained, and he wants to help us. The manager is an old friend of mine, Carl. He decided to help. Yippee, 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 I squeaked. My friends looked so happy, just like I was. The door opened, and Mr. Morales, the head of Longfellow School, walked in. "Good morning, class," he said. He turned to Mrs. Bisbane. "What did you want to show me?" This, our teacher said. She opened the box and reached in. She took out a car. It wasn't a real car. It was a really willy hamster car. And it was bright red with a lightning bolt on the side. "Eek," I squeaked. "It's just what I wanted." Mrs. Bisbane told Mr. Morales about Winky's car and the idea about a hamster race. Pedorama is giving this car so that Humphrey can use it and we'll use it for math, she said. I was so surprised my whiskers wiggled and my tail twitched. "It has the pet shop's name on it," she said. I scrambled to the tippy top of my cage so that I could get a better look. It was true. Pedorama was written on the back of the red racing car. Pedorama has also donated some prizes for the winner. I liked that idea. I like to see a hamster race myself, said Principal Morales. "Boing," said my neighbor. "Og," Mr. Morales said, "what do you think all about this hamster race?" Og bounced up and down in his tank. "Boing, boing, boing," he said. "He said that we should have a frog race too," Principal Morales said. "But I don't think that they have cars for frogs." "Sorry, Og," I squeaked to my friend. "Well, we'll make plans tomorrow," Mrs. Bisbane said. "Time to put this away." She took the red car and put it on the bookcase. Luckily, it was on the bottom shelf because there was no way I could reach it on the top shelf. I started thinking about a plan for later. That night, when Otto, the custodian, came in to clean, he made a big smile. He had a big smile on his face. Of course, Aldo has a big smile each and every night that he comes to room 26. He page. Yum, yum, yum. He dropped a fish stick in Og's cage. Yuck. "I heard the news about this racing day," Otto said. "Boing," Og chimed in. Otto began to sweep the floor. "That's one race that I'm not going to miss," he said. "After all, I have to cheer on my little buddy." "Thanks, Otto," I squeaked. I loved it when Otto comes in to clean. But I have to admit, I was happy when he left that night. As soon as he was gone, I jiggled the lock on my cage. "I call it the lock, Og," I squeaked to him. I slid down the leg of the table and I ran across the floor to the bookcase. There it was. It was bright and shiny, that red car. I pulled myself up onto the bottom shelf of the bookcase. I gave the car a little push. It rolled off the shelf and hit the floor with a bump. Then I tried. It rolled across the floor. "Wait for me," I shouted. I hopped off the shelf and followed that car. The car rolled between the tables in room 26. "Stop!" I squeaked. "Boing, boing," Og shouted. He sounded a bit worried. Just then, the car hit the leg of AJ's chair and it stopped. "Thank you," I said. I looked and stood up on my tippy toes and popped open the door. Then I climbed inside. "Here goes," Og, I squeaked. I began to spin the wheel. The car started slowly. Then I spun it faster and faster, and the car zoomed across the room. Boing, 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 Og cheered. I thought about Winky's racing next to me in his blue car, so I began to spin even faster. Suddenly, I looked up and I saw a wall coming closer and closer, and I squeaked. I stopped spinning, but the car kept on going until bump. It hit the wall and stopped. Boing, boing, boing. Og leaped up really high. I climbed out of the car. I'm fine, Og, I told him, but I don't think that I'll drive the car. Are there any humans around? Boing, Og leaped into the water of his tank and started splashing. I have to admit, I was worried, worried, worried. Wouldn't Mrs. Bisbane wonder how the car ended up in the corner? What if she couldn't even find it the next morning? Would she then call the race off? What if she found out that my lock doesn't lock and then had it fixed? I would never get out and have an adventure again. Then I had a good idea. I squeezed into the corner and began to push the car towards the bookcase. I tried, but it was hard to move the car that way. I pushed for a while and then I rested for a while. I pushed and rested for the rest of the night. When I finally got the car to the bookcase, sunlight was peeking through the window. Of course, I couldn't lift it up onto the shelf, but at least it was nearby. I scurried across the floor to the table. I used the cord from the blinds to swing myself back up to the top of the table. That was fun, I squeaked as I raced past Og's tank. Boing, boing, Og said. I pulled the cage door shut behind me and went into my sleeping hut. I was so tired. I slept through math, reading, and science. After all, I had had a long, long, long night. Right when I woke up, I heard Mrs. Bisbane said, "Class, the great hamster race will be Friday." Eek, I squeaked. "You heard me, Humphrey," Mrs. Bisbane said. "You better get some practice." She went over to the bookcase to get my really willy car. "What is it doing on the floor?" she asked. "Maybe it just rolled off when Aldo was cleaning last night." Whew, my lock that doesn't lock was safe. We'll stop here. I'll come back in about an hour or so and we'll finish up the book reading chapter 4. Hope you enjoy.